On this episode of Watch Stuff With Us, we are watching Love is Blind Season 7, Episode 1. Welcome back to Watch Stuff With Us. We are so glad you are here. My name is Katie.
I'm JD.
Thank you for tuning in with us. We are mixing things up this week. We are starting a new show. We are doing Love is Blind. It's a little different spin on what we have been doing. We've done Agatha all along. We have done the Monsters series with the Menendez brothers, and now we are moving on to Love is Blind. So a little bit of a rom-com.
Reality series.
Yeah.
Love, dating, which is a little bit outside of my, not necessarily comfort zone, but outside of my realm of the stuff that I normally watch. So Katie's going to be steering the boat on this one, and I'm just going to be the awfully attractive side piece for her.
He is not in a pod. He is not available. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video, any other videos that you watch. Go back and watch them all. They're pretty great. And if you haven't seen the shows that we've previously recorded, go back and see them. We are going to run through every person on the show that's looking for love, that is hanging out in the pods. We're going to give our thoughts and opinions on them.
But not the random ones that are in the background that nobody even knows who they are.
I always feel so sorry for them. We never see what happens to them. They're in the background, just giving drama gossip advice to somebody and drinking wine, but we don't know. We never know their stories. So to you amazing people that have tried out for the show, been on the show, but we're not in the limelight.
Too bad, so sad.
And then we're going to close the show today by talking about our 3 favorite meet cutes from the episode.
M-E-E-T, not M-E-A-T, like I thought.
I definitely had to explain that term to him because he definitely thought I was talking about food.
Yeah, or something else. Hey, yo. One other thing that you guys should know is that we did not talk about our comments on the show or the people during our episode, so this is actually our first time discussing them.
Right, we thought it would be way more fun to talk about it with you.
All right, first person up is Nick, last name Dorka, which is
Nick.
The only last name that I remember. But my notes that I had on him were, he seemed like a lame sort of smooth talker. And like I said, my notes kind of go in chronological order. So as we learned more about him, I kind of saw if my initial comments were correct. But yeah, I had about him that he was a lame, smooth talker. And then my next comment was lame with like 7 A's. So he must have said something super lame after that. He was a kicker. And at one point he said that he looked like Henry Cavill. He ain't Superman. Personality-wise, definitely wasn't feeling him. Not even the type of dude that I would like to hang out with, because that type of guy seems to be the type of guy who would also like hate on you and try to steal your girl.
Mr. Steal Girl. I originally thought Nick was going to be pretty great. I wasn't sure, but I liked his sense of humor. He was spunky. You know, he seemed to be a charmer, yes, but I was trying to look for that like underlying little bit humbleness, kindness. I feel like he either has some self-esteem issues and he's trying to overcompensate for that by being a little extra, or perhaps he's just a little full of himself. I'm not sure which way this is going to go.
Next up is Katie, not this one, the one that was on the show. You'll see her picture right down there.
I'm not available.
Definitely not. My words and phrases that I had written down about her were negative. I don't like that she works in football. Like, I feel like there's a certain type of woman who works in football, and she definitely comes off as that type that's like very domineering and controlling. Like, you know, I'm trying to be in this area where there's a bunch of men, so I got to be like super tough and not taking any crap, which can kind of come off, at least to me, as being abrasive. As far as how she looks, I definitely liked her look. Like, of all the people on the show, I felt like she was the most attractive. Like, I loved her smile. I loved her hair. Like, she had her hair down one time. She had her hair up one time. Each time I was like, Yes. And with the exception, with the exception of the point where she was wearing the Carmen Sandiego jacket, as you called it.
I did.
She did have on a trench coat when she was sitting on the couch at one point, and I was like, what is that all about? But
where in the world is Katie going? I understand what you're meaning about her possibly being a little bit more of like a guy's guy.
Yep. A guy girl.
Yeah,
And,
girl, guy. A little bit more like she's ready to just grab a beer with you and watch sports, which is fine.
Yeah,
like
it's cool.
There's a lot of people out there, a lot of chicks out there that are like that, and a lot of guys that dig that, and that's awesome.
And she would want to hang out with like your guy friends, and like if you were going out for a guys' night out, she would want to come with, and then she would be like dominating the conversation, and that's definitely not the vibe that I like.
No, I feel like if you want to talk sports with her, like you'd have somebody good to have a conversation with. Mm-hmm. But if you're wanting to perhaps go on a date or talk about anything else, the conversation might not go very far.
Next up, we have Hannah. Oh, Hannah. My notes that I had on her, and like I said, these are in chronological order as things were unfolding on the show. So the first thing that I had about her was feeling herself too much, annoying, tacky clothes.
So you got that right off the bat.
Yeah, okay. Like the boots that she had on, like it screamed a certain aesthetic to me and a certain personality type. And as the show played out, I felt like we definitely got that personality type that I was expecting her to be.
When I was a kid, my Barbies had those same boots.
Yeah.
They go over the knee. They were in white and black, and she also owned both.
Yeah, even the accent that she had that eventually faded
you
as
said
the
it
episode
came and went.
Yeah, like, she kind of looks like she would be the type of girl who would be like hanging out with you and just like rip off a fart.
Which is not me and has never been me, just for the record.
I don't even fart around her, but I feel like she would just lean over.
We are classy.
She would just lean over and just like pop it out and then look at you like you're crazy. She also seems as though, and like I said, these are my notes. She seems as though she was very easily influenced by the group later on in the episode. They felt that she wasn't getting along with a certain contestant who we'll cover next, and that their personality types weren't going to mesh, and that she was already having reservations, and they kind of guided her towards letting this guy go. In a situation like that, you have to go with your feelings. You can't go by the feelings that somebody else has.
Especially some people that you just met.
And you're competing with them over the same people. You don't know for sure if these girls have your best interests in mind. They might like that guy and want him too. So they're going to kind of push you because you're easily manipulated.
Yeah, don't let strangers influence your decisions. Hannah. My first initial thing I wrote down was Hannah, annoying. Obviously younger and immature. That was hit on by other people that were in the show too. The guys and the girls are talking about her age, which age is just a number. If you are mature and ready for things in life, then good for you. But I'm not sure she's there yet. I think she still has a little bit of growing up to do. I think she still wants to possibly live the party life a little bit longer. Definitely trying to figure out her image, who she wants to be. I think she's trying to fit in a box right now instead of just being herself.
As I was watching her, I felt like I knew exactly the type of girl that she is. She is the one that was like super cute in high school, has gained a little weight. Not that that's a bad thing, but that weight that she's gained has affected her self-confidence. And she has now sort of overcompensated for that and is going like the party girl aesthetic and look, as defined by her clothes. She's definitely insecure. She's not the type that's going to be ready to settle down. She's going to need a guy who's probably likely older than her. She's 26 biologically, but she comes across as a 21-year-old. And you need a special type of person to be able to deal with that and to rein that in and to mold that. And what you have to hope is that by the time you get her reined in and ready to go, that she isn't 38 years old and you're already 49. Now let's jump to Leo.
Leo.
Notes. self-absorbed, Mr. Serious. He's an art dealer, and apparently he has money. Now, this is one of the things that I wonder.
He does?
Yeah, I think he mentioned it once or twice or 47 times. This is one of the things that I wonder if the show, I know the show, like we're not getting a pure just recording of everything that happened. You
Right,
have
they
editors,
do cuts and
right? They
things.
have storylines that they want to push across, and obviously they want us to feel a certain way about him, and they are successful in the way that they want us to feel about him because I can't stand this dude. The way that he was pushing across and like humble bragging about how he had money and he's been in money his whole life, and then everybody in his family passed away. Oh, sad, I'm sorry. But then that I got all this inheritance money all at one time. Like anybody who's willing to discuss those types of things early on in a relationship or when you just meet people, that is a huge red flag because I feel as though he's using that to reel someone in. And reeling somebody in via your assets and money, not a good thing. And he talks about how he doesn't want to be with a person who wants him just for his money, as he mentions his money over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Oh boy, Leo. First thing I put down about Leo was braggadocious right off the bat. I noticed that he was full of himself. His story, and when he was sitting at that table, like you said, he was talking to the guys about his backstory, and I mean, he was talking to, I don't know if it was Brittany or Hannah at the time as well, when he was talking about, okay, like my grandparents passed, and then my mom passed, and my stepdad passed, and my dad passed, or some order. Like, that should be something that is terribly sad, but in that moment, he was acting like he wasn't as moved by it, because then he just rolled in, like you said, to talk about the fortune that he inherited. I thought that was incredibly shallow. He's cocky. He's words that I'm not going to say here because we're trying to keep this language G.
And he ain't even that cute.
He's not that cute. So I think he's trying to reel people in, like you said, with the money in his pocket. And I think that he's just a jerk. Brittany.
Brittany. Same thing.
I initially had said that Brittany would go great with Leo because that girl, as she said, she wants to be a trophy wife. She has no aspiration, it sounds, to have a job, to cook, to clean, I'm sure she'd like to shop. Maybe not for groceries, but I'm sure shopping would be fun. She wants to spend the money. She wants to be taken care of. She doesn't want to have to contribute money in any bills.
Don't forget, though, that she does want to be a mom and she wants to have a blaze.
She talks about how she can seduce anyone into being with her. And if she had wanted somebody for their money, she would have done that a long time ago. Maybe my thought is those guys just got tired of her after a little while. She probably had some sugar daddies, and either they died or she just...
And she feels like the type...
parted ways.
Yeah, she feels like the type that would get bored with a guy really quickly. Like, her and Leo would be amazing together for like 3 months and 7 or 8 days. And then after that, they would just fall apart. Like, it would be amazing, boom, just done and explosive. So I kind of hope that they get married just so we can see how that falls out.
I ended my thoughts on Brittany by saying at least she knows what she wants and she's honest.
I ended my thoughts on Brittany by saying, yuck.
We like Garrett. I feel like Garrett knows what he wants. I feel like he's mature. I feel like he's there for good reasons. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's a physicist.
He's a physicist, which some people can't spell like Brittany. Physicist. She probably doesn't even know what that means.
He gives physicals.
Right. I feel like Garrett is going to go far. I think he is awesome if he gets the right match, which I think it's going that way. I think,
Angling that direction.
yeah, so far I've got a good vibe about Garrett.
My notes that I had on Garrett was that he was a smart physicist, but seems cool. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
seem like he would overwhelm you with his intelligence, which some people can do. Like nobody wants somebody to come off like a Sheldon.
Or make you feel less than.
Right. Unless, but I mean, I do feel as though he will need to meet his match intellectually.
Oh, correct.
Which it kind of seems like he did, or at
So
least
far, so
someone
good.
who's pretty sharp as far as that's concerned. One other thing that I had about him as the show went on, though, I felt like he was starting to be a little too honest when he was talking with Taylor. He was. It's good to be honest, but you want to put your best self forward, and I feel like the way that he was kind of judging her off of what we'll talk about later was a little bit too much and definitely turned her off. I think she kind of came around at the end, but sometimes being overtly honest about how you feel about something or someone can be a negative that early in a relationship. I think you need to get to a lot of stuff, but you don't necessarily want to share everything right off the bat. All right, we might as well just jump from that directly into Taylor. The stuff that I had
Taylor?
The stuff that I had written down about Taylor was that she was smart, attractive, calm, genuine, sexy voice, smart but approachable. And I think that's very important. She is a beautiful woman who has some self-esteem issues and has been downed and probably dogged out by some guys earlier in her life, which has sort of affected how she takes things. And that's dangerous for whoever is the person who's going to come into her life and help her fix herself, because she's going to need some fixing. She has like 90% of the game down, but that other 10% is going to need some work.
Which isn't a negative thing.
No, it's not. Everybody needs work. When
Right.
we got together, I needed a whole lot of work. And she helped to get me to where I am today. And I feel like because of that, our relationship is amazing.
Everybody needs work.
Everyone needs
Everybody
help.
has room to improve and work together in a relationship to be their best self.
I wrote down that she would be great with Garrett, which is obviously where the show is pushing us towards. But that underlying insecurity is definitely a negative for her. And if she can work through that and continue to be who she is and come across the way that she is, I think that she will be a great wife for someone. Whether that person is Garrett or not, we'll see.
I also really like Taylor. She came in with a natural, cute look. She's very pretty. I like her style. She seems very sweet. She seems to know what she wants, and I feel like there's potential for her to have a good match with anybody, but especially with Garrett.
And she's like the opposite of Hannah. Like the negatives for Hannah with her being mentally young seems the opposite with Taylor, where she might be a little too old and a little too overthinky, which can be a negative, but we'll see.
Yeah. I liked Alex too. I felt like she was pretty chill. She seemed to be mature, kind. I didn't learn too much about her, but so far I think she's pretty great.
Yeah, they didn't share a ton about her. We just saw her in one of her interactions with Tim, which is where Tim was sharing a ton of stuff. So I wrote down that she was level-headed and calm and pretty normal, which is at least good for a C plus B minus on this show.
Ashley A. I love her. And like I said, we did not discuss any of the contestants before we went and did this video for you. But knowing my hubby, we usually think the same on just about absolutely everything. Mm-hmm. So I can tell by your face that you also thought that she was fantastic. That girl is a queen. She is mature. She's kind. She's funny. She's there for all good things, and I think she might be my favorite.
Yeah, she seemed very normal. Like I said, being normal is a good thing on a show like this. And I felt like she came across as mature, but also willing to be spunky and have fun. I think she's a little bit older than most of the other contestants too, which is a good thing. You can tell that she's settled. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants as well. And, had a great look, a beautiful voice. Like I liked her voice. She was, kind of sultry with it. And I got a definite good vibe off of her. Okay, last but not least, and I know we probably haven't covered everybody who was on the show, but the last one that we took some notes on was Tyler. Seems cool, but I don't really know if he's as cool as he actually appears to be. I feel like he could have some issues where he is constantly looking for the next thing or someone else. He seems to be able to say the right things, but I don't know if those right things are things that he's going to put into action. Like, he's a smooth talker. He knows exactly what he needs to say. And some of the women even commented on that. I did like the end, though, where he shared more about his background and where he came from and how, he had a rough upbringing and he was there to take care of his mom as she was grieving and, he started crying and stuff. Like, I didn't get emotional. It wasn't that type of show, but I did feel like that was genuine. Where he was coming from with that was genuine. And if he's that type of person, I think he needs to let that aspect of himself out more than the smooth talking, I know exactly what to say to swoon someone and not have much depth. But once he started sharing, you got a little bit more of the depth. So generally a good first interaction and impression.
Yeah, I believe he was the one in the show that had talked about how he had had a lot of women in his past and how they were there for a little while and then they parted ways. I don't know if he pushed them away. He just grew tired of them, how exactly they split, but he talked a lot about having a lot of other women in his life. That makes me a little bit nervous in the future. I feel like he really enjoys Ashley A. I feel like they have a good connection. I haven't seen him talking, flirting with a bunch of other women in the pods, which is good. That's reassuring that he's a decent person. But he could be one that it all changes once he's face to face, once they all get together on their dates and things like that. He could be swayed, I think.
Okay, now we're going to end the show with our 3 best meet cutes. M-E-E-T, not M-E-A-T, like I said before, or thought.
They're not jerky.
Our first one was Tyler and Ashley A. They definitely vibe. You could see a connection that was building between them. And it seemed genuine and it seemed real, which is exactly what you would want coming into a situation where you can't see the other person and you only get their voice and what they're able to say to you.
Yes, they were adorable together. I feel like they hit it off really well. They continued to just see each other in the pods. I think it's going to lead somewhere. I like them together. They're adorable.
Meet cute number 2, Garrett and Taylor. I thought that they hit it off as well. I think Garrett kind of messed it up with Taylor a little bit at the end of the first episode, but I think they'll be able to rebound from that. And he was able to circle it back around a little bit to a more positive nature after I'm sure he felt the vibes that like Taylor was like, I'm pulling back.
Right, he tried to bring her back in a little bit and kind of cover for that.
But they were definitely vibing.
They were, and they were cute, and intellectually they are a perfect match, I feel. And yeah, I really like them together.
3rd best meet cute.
Best?
Yeah, actually not best, but it was Leo and Brittany. And yeah, that is a vibe that I was not feeling. Yeah.
But they're great for each other.
Right. I feel like they would work for each other for a very limited time. It's like it's like a show that
we'll
comes
take bets on how limited it might be.
Right. It's like a show that comes on Netflix that you only get 6 episodes, and those 6 episodes might be good, they might be bad, but you're only getting 6 of them.
And once the show's over, they're over.
It's over. And yeah, it'll be fun to see where they go and if they end up actually clicking and getting together. But yeah, I wouldn't say that they were a best meet cute. They were a worst meet cute, but we'll probably end up getting together.
I do not like them individually, but together, they seem like a match. They seem happy together. So who am I to rock that boat?
Good for them.
Yeah.
Way to go, you guys.
Yeah, high five.
Best of luck.
Doing it.
So there you got it, guys. Episode 1, Love is Blind.
Wait, before you do that. Leo Chapstick. What
was that?
Just had to say it.
Who?
I can't end this without talking about the cringiest thing I saw in that whole episode.
Who gets a chapstick?
Rolls it up, sticks your finger in it, and then wipes it on your mouth. First off, germs, dirty. Then you got chapstick on your fingers. Then you're going to go touch the pod doors, and somebody else is going to touch those pod doors.
Yeah, I don't like to use a W word, but that was weird.
What the heck, Leo? Okay, you can go now.
All right, so we're really going to end the show this time. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, this is something new that's different for me. Definitely need a show that's a little bit more of a fun watch as opposed to some of the other stuff that we're watching right now and sharing with you guys. So if you can, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, share, do all that good stuff. And we are expecting huge numbers for this. Huge numbers for this one, because we know that there are a ton of Love is Blind fans out there, and we're happy to sort of ride this train along with everybody else and see what you guys think.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm JD.
I'm Katie.
We'll see you later.